Now that we've implemented the card and added the Edit Profile button, let's add some functionality to it. In this video, we'll implement the Angular Material dialog so that when the user clicks on the button, a form dialog will open where they can update their own profile. Our only goal in this video is just to open the dialog. In the next couple of videos, we'll learn how to pass data into this dialog and handle form submissions. But for now, let's focus on getting the dialog to launch correctly. Let's head over to the documentation. On the left, I have the dialog component selected. Here's a really good example. If you select the Pick One button and a dialog opens, that's what we're trying to accomplish. And then right below that is an example of what we'll be implementing in this video. To learn more about this dialog here, if we open up the code example and go into the TypeScript, the way that they're implementing that within this example is here. This is how they're opening the dialog. And this dialog is coming from this here. And they're injecting the mat dialog service. And also at the top here, they're bringing it in here, the mat dialog. They're importing it from Angular Material Dialog. Let's start off there. We'll start off within our TypeScript file by bringing in our service. Back inside the User Profile Manager component where we implemented our card, I'll add in the service. And I just pasted in the snippet from the documentation. And a lot of these classes we do not need at the moment. I'll remove all of these. All we need is the mat dialog. And I'll remove this constant here at the top. Then let's clean this up. Now we have our service being imported. Now we can inject it by using the Angular core to inject this into our component. I'll add that snippet at the top of our component. And now we have access to this service from within our component. We could call this service from within our open dialog method that we already have within our component. This is what we'll use to open the dialog when the user clicks on the button. Within here, I'll add another snippet. We'll need to update this snippet from the documentation. For example, we currently do not need this dialog ref. We don't need to reference this. We'll be adding this in a later video though. Then also we want to call on this from within the component, so I'll add on the this. Now this service has a method called open, and you could pass in a couple parameters. The first parameter is the class you want to use when the dialog first opens, like what shows in the dialog. In the documentation or using the component, the user profile component, we have our own component. It's called the Edit Profile Dialog component. You could find that from within the User Profile Manager folder, then the Edit Profile Dialog folder. It's nested in there. So I'll copy this class name, this Edit Profile Dialog component, and replace this with our component. And we want to make sure we bring that in. Now the second parameter for the open method is another object. And as you can see here, you can set the height and the width to your dialog from within this object here. In later videos, we will be passing in data with this as well. But for now, we'll leave this object just the way it is. That's the only work we need to do from within our TypeScript file for setting this up. Now let's set up our template. And then inside this button here, we'll add a click event. And then in here, we'll call the method our onDialog method. And then we'll make sure we call it as well. And that's the only change we need to make within our template. Now we're ready to test this in the browser. Now when we click on the Edit Profile button, the dialog should open. The form within the dialog don't look that great currently. We'll be taking care of that in the next couple of videos. But let's stay inside of our User Profile Manager component and set up a way where we could pass data to this dialog. And we'll look into that in the next video.